Hey, brother. I hope you are doing well. So now we are going to get into creating a next app. Obviously, we did it before, but it was just a rush through. Okay, it didn't mean to help you understand and be able to manipulate Next.js. Next.js has got some cool features. Okay, things that can take away a lot of stress, okay, in your mind and in how you work. Okay, believe me, for me it's better than pure React. Okay, you will see those now. So here now, as we are creating a new React application, Next.js application, I am going to talk about those. So after the end of this video, you are supposed to be comfortable on working with Next.js. So you must feel like you understand it. It talks to you, you talks to it. You can some sort of manipulate it, and that doesn't like happen in a frustrating way. Okay, where you use Next.js and then something doesn't happen, you go to Google, you come back, you go to Google. That is a painful way of doing it. Okay, so I'm hoping to explain that. So now I'm here in the docs. Okay, Next.js was using a page router before, and it has upgraded to an app router. Okay, so the only thing that I'm going to tell you about this page is that make sure that here, okay, it's app router. As you can see, this is the latest, okay, app router. So when you click here, all the information that you get here, it's relating to whatever that we will do, the file structure that you will see. So in most cases, I used to come here and don't get what I want simply because I have clicked the app router. Okay, sorry, the page router. So the information that I will get here, it will be somewhat weird, or I'm not sure. It doesn't give me what I want. Okay, so make sure when you are here, you are on app router. Okay, so you can follow this documentation when you've got time. Okay, also if there might be something that I might need here, I will come back and check it here. So let's go back here. So this is just another project. So I decided to show you even from scratch, like how do I open another folder or something. So let's click here, open a folder. Okay, I already have a path to a certain folder. Here is the folder. Okay, here is the folder name. I have clicked enter there, and then I have selected open. So as you can see, under this folder we've got the bullet train, and now inside this folder we're going to create another project. Okay, so I think this is too small. Let me just zoom in, make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so we are inside this folder. We are going to create a next app. Okay, what is a React app? Okay, what is a React app, and let's say what is a Next.js app? Okay, so let's start with React. Okay, a React app, it's just files and folders. Okay, obviously when you are creating this with React, the file structure might be different, but most of the files will be there. Okay, and folders like node modules will be here and other ts config, but the folders might be different. Okay, so what is a React application? A React application is just files and folders treated that way. Okay, it's just files and folders, just like when you are using PHP. Okay, when you are using CodeIgniter. Okay, there is a file, okay, that contains all your PHP script, all your routes, all your code. It's just files and folders. Okay, even though here we might execute certain commands, but these are just files and folders, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, okay, cool. Now when this is modern JavaScript. Okay, so this is called a node project. Okay, React operates on top of node. Okay, let me just come here, node.js. Okay, so React operates on top of node. I'm not sure if I'm in the right website. It's been a while since I've been here. Maybe they have changed it. Now it looks a little bit funny, but anyway, you can download a node here. So if we're talking about the tech stack, what is Node and how does it feature in the whole like application building? Okay, Node It's like a platform or a technology that has made it easier for us to run JavaScript. Okay, to run JavaScript not only on the web. Okay, remember JavaScript is only available in this Chrome tab or window. Okay, because it's a browser, it's browser based, it's a script that runs on the browser. These guys decided to help us as a development community to say that your JavaScript is not only going to run on the browser. Okay, it can only run on the server. Okay, just like PHP on Apache server, meaning that online, okay, or under www dot the back end of that, the JavaScript can run there. So that was like the breaking technology or the new wave of JavaScript. And JavaScript, I think it became not necessarily popular, but it became stronger or solid because of that. Because after that, we had I think it gave birth to React and all other JavaScript, what can I say, modern JavaScript technologies or front end like Vue, Angular, and other ones. Okay, that's what I think. Okay, so Node.js makes it possible for us to run JavaScript in the browser here and also on the server. Okay, so this is a Node application. This is a Node application. Okay, so if we are running a command here, okay, that command runs basically on Node engine. Okay, and then we've got another package that runs on top of that engine, which is npm. Okay, so now if we are typing npm create next dash create let's say npm create dash next dash app. I think the command is like this. Okay, so now we are using npm, which is a Node package manager. So meaning that this let's say package, okay, it manages packages. Okay, what are packages? Okay, packages are like modules. Okay, it's like a certain way of saying that this is a setup, just like a .exe in Windows. Okay, if you got Microsoft Word.exe, that is setup, and then VLC.exe, that is setup. So here, as much as the setup, it's not an executable file, like it's not an exe file. Okay, it doesn't run like an exe. Okay, it's just the package is just like a group of files and folders, okay, which is inside those files they are functions or method. Okay, but I think here they are adopting that installing kind of a system. Okay, install this package. It's not like you are installing necessarily just like on Windows. You are just copying whatever files to here. So this npm, it's a Node package manager. Maybe I might as well take you to the npm website. Okay, as you can see, so this is Node package manager. As far as I'm concerned, obviously I might be wrong in this. Okay, npm, it's not like the same company as Node. Okay, Node didn't create npm. I think npm is a standalone company, but it works hand in hand with Node. Okay, I think these guys are separate guys because I heard somewhere in the news, tech news, that Node as a company is trying to not necessarily kick these guys out, but the contract will be terminated or something like that. So meaning that there are other packages which like this one is npm. There is also yarn, okay, which is important for you to know about. Okay, you can install a package using yarn. Okay, maybe sometimes you might, this is not the yarn that I'm looking for. Yarn home, yarn a package, yes, this one. So you can install a package using yarn as well. Okay, as you can see, Node doesn't really like Node is not npm. Okay, meaning that there are some other competitors of npm. Okay, so you can use yarn install or yarn whatever command. Okay, more about these later. Also now there's also, I think someone says this one is npm, there is a pnpm. Okay, pnpm. Okay, let me just click here, pnpm vessels yarn. Okay, so they've got all their advantages and disadvantages. So let's just go back a little bit. Okay, we've got Node that made it possible for us to run JavaScript in on a server, and then we've got React as the underlying foundation, okay, or the blueprint, okay, and also we've got Next.js as more like a structural platform or application or layer. Just arranges React files and folders in a different way. Okay, so when we're creating npm create next application, we are just going to the npm organization, because here they've got a lot of files. Okay, let me just check one of my packages. Okay, I've got a package here which is called Africa. Okay, so meaning that you can create an npm package yourself. What is an npm package? Remember, I said it's just files and folders. It's just a JavaScript file that you have created. Okay, but if you want it to be available, then you make it a package. As you can see, this is my package. Okay, I did it 3 months ago. So you create this. Okay, so Next.js, they have created their own package. Okay, they have created their own package. So now if I want to install my own, I just type here npm install Africa, then it will be installed here, file and folders. Okay, so I hope that one is clear. So when we are doing this, we are going to this server, we are downloading the files that we will download. Okay, so as soon as we execute that command, that script will run and it will ask us some questions in this command line interface. I think that at least gives you some depth, okay, into at least what we are about, so that you can know at least beyond this, so that if you might want to create your own npm package, you know that you can do that. Big companies are doing that, like Walmart and whatever. Obviously, they are not hosting their packages here as individual, they are hosting their packages as organization. Walmart, it's a very, very big let's say application. Okay, even Netflix. So what they do, they don't save their files as folders as we do, and what they can create a package on a certain page. Let's say the home page, it's a package on its own. So if you want to use it, you can just install it, and then. Okay, so now let's download all the files and structure of Next.js by using npm create next app. Okay, if you want, you might type here at latest. It means that in those node versions, as you can see, this one is version 1.0.3. In those node versions, it will take the current one. Okay, even if you have ignored this, it will still work well. Okay, I think I might have made a mistake here. Okay, it's npm create next app. Okay, npm create dash next dash app. Okay, let me just quickly refer to the documentation. It looks like I forgot about this command. Yeah, is it npx create next app. Okay, cool. Or npx, my apologies about that. Okay, it's npx. Okay, npx create dash next dash app. My apologies about that. It's npx. Okay, so I think even this npx, it's still, what can I say, it's still under npm. Okay, because this will go to this database, or let's say server, and it will pull off those files. Okay, then now it's busy downloading. I'm just going to pause the video until it finishes. If you've got any questions around these things and like these details, you can let me know. You can ask me maybe via WhatsApp. Okay, looks like everything has worked well. Okay, so meaning that now Next.js is starting to execute its own initial script. Okay, asking us the name of the application. So these are variables, just like in any other application. So it will take these variables, it will create a folder based on that name. Okay, so let's call this next course. Okay, this is the next course. Hit enter. Would you like to use TypeScript? Yes. Here basically you just yes, 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 no, 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 as they are instructing us. So I'm just going to pause the video and come back when this is done. Okay, now we are done creating the next application. The important thing here is to always note where you are in terms of the folder structure. We don't want to be here because here there are two folders, which is two project. We want to be inside this project. Okay, so what I usually do, I always right click here, reveal in Explorer. I want this path. I will copy it and then close this and then file, open folder. Then I will paste this folder and click enter so that this name could be here, and then I will select that folder. So now we have opened a new VS Code project or Next.js project exactly in that folder. So how can we check if everything is well? You can go here, um, move this up so that you can get the terminal. Now we are inside this. Okay, now let's talk about the folder structure. Okay, so the node team is the one who's responsible for all of this. Okay, it's the one that's responsible for all of this. So what they do, everything that you install, any package which is like npm shadcn or whatever, create react app, okay, they save those files as module. This is like a list of installations, let's say. Okay, like in Windows it's program files. Okay, so the core files of Next.js, they are here. This is a very big excuse me, folder. It has got a lot of things, but basically what it does when you're installing shadcn, it puts the actual shadcn core files here, so that when you are running a script, everything that is responsible for running shadcn, it's here. So the shadcn will be here. Okay, cool. This is this folder you don't have to worry much about. Okay, but what happens with this folder, this folder might get bigger. Okay, let's say 500 megabytes, let's say, assuming that's too big. And then when you want to send this project to me, maybe Gmail might tell you that this folder is too big. Okay, or even it might take time to send all these pieces. This is like a lot of files, small files, small. It might take time. So Node has designed its own system in such a way that you can ignore these Node modules and delete it and only send to me this. And then when I receive this file and open it, I'm just going to run here npm I. That means install. What does this mean? It means that the system will go here on npm. It will install all the packages, okay, that we have installed while creating this. Okay, obviously, the follow-up question is, how does it know which files which were part of, let's say, this folder, the one that we install a list of our packages? And then let's go to package.json. Okay, whenever you install a package, it will be saved here. We've got React as a package. We've got React DOM as a package. We've got Next as a package, as you can see. So all modern JavaScript applications, they are a node application. Okay, they are a node application. But on top of that node application, there is a React layer as a foundation. So hence we are saying it's a React project. But if somebody might ask, what is the core essence of the whole application? It's a node application. If somebody asks, can you use Node? Maybe you might say yes, because this is a node application. Node come with its own things. Okay, the applications that are only built on Node, okay, more especially server-side application. So Node, it's a tag on its own. Okay, so these packages, for instance, packages, this knowledge, it's node based. Okay, React knows nothing about this, because even them, they are a dependency on Node, as you can see. So Node manages all of that. So this list, it's a list of things that we have installed already. As you can see, we've also got types, we've got TypeScript. Okay, so if you don't have this file, maybe it might be difficult for Node to install your own packages. Okay, So let me just give you what can I say, a quick hack. Okay, when you receive a file, the first thing that you need to do is to determine which package was used when installing other packages. Okay, or let's say which method. Okay, we've got npm, we've got yarn. Now we've got pnpm, which at the moment, I don't want to lie, I can use yarn, but pnpm, it's new. Okay, so I have not used it, but based on the community, it looks like it has got some advanced features than yarn and npm. But at the moment, I want to learn things slowly but surely, or little by little. Okay, I don't want to be caught up in new things which don't really help me anyway. Okay, because I'm a freelancer, so I use these things to produce projects. So it's not like I'm going to work for a company where there is already pnpm, so I have to use it. Okay, so how do you test then? Okay, somewhere here, if you've got package.json, this tells you that more especially here. Okay, here. Okay, the package log. Okay, so if you've got this and you've got this package.json, it means that this is an npm project. If you've got here not package yarn, okay, or even here, I think here it's going to be the package.json belongs to node. Okay, I think you check here, instead of package log, it's going to be yarn log. Okay, here, then you will know that it has been, you have to use yarn to install. Let me just quickly verify that. Yarn log. Okay, yeah, yarn log versus package log. Okay, what is the difference between yarn.log and npm package? Yeah, so meaning that if you've got package log, that is npm. Okay, if you've got yarn log, and then that means it's yarn. Okay, so I was hoping I could see something here that has package.json. I wish I could see it's the one that has got yarn log. Let's see, so that you can have a picture. But the name will, it's straightforward. The name, believe me, it's straightforward. It's not, here is it. Okay, here is this file, yarn.log. Okay, this yarn.log is telling you that you need to use yarn. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's say I have received this folder as it is, maybe from GitHub, because when you push things to GitHub, this folder won't be pushed. Okay, it will be ignored. So as soon as when you download something from GitHub, you don't have this folder. So what do we do in order to make sure that this project is exactly the way Matthew intended, or it was in the same state? Okay, so if we can see this is package.json or package log. Okay, then what we do, we type npm install. Okay, before you run anything, if you can run any command without this modules folder there, okay, it won't run. So you need to first type npm install, meaning that the system, which is node, will come to this and it will install all of this automatically. It will create this folder, then you can start to run your project. What if there is a yarn log here? Okay, I think also you type yarn install instead of okay, instead of npm install. Okay, then somebody might ask, it looks like there are two schools of thought here, or two different methods. It's either it's yarn or it's npm. Okay, what if maybe accidentally I ran yarn in an npm package? To be honest, there won't be a problem. Okay, node will take care of that. It will convert all your modules. Instead now of pulling them from npm, it will pull them from yarn, and that is it. And usually it works. Okay, there won't be any problem. Maybe it might take time to install, simply because it has to change that configuration. It might be a little bit slower, but in the end it will work. And the only thing that you have to do, you have to always use yarn commands to run. For instance, yarn dev, for running dev. But with npm, as you might have seen, it's npm run dev. Okay, but with yarn, it's yarn dev only. Obviously, there might be some variations. For instance, for next, okay, as you can see, this is next dev. Okay, this is where you can configure all these things. Maybe it's yarn dev because my boss where I was working, he came here and he changed these. Okay, and he changed it too. So I'm trying to say these commands, you can manipulate them. Maybe somebody will be using yarn start. Okay, so how do you change those? These are the scripts and you change them here. As you can see here, it's start. Okay, this command runs next start. So meaning that I can change this command to run something else. Let's say I want this command to run, let's say this file directly. Let's say this one. Okay, let's say I knew how to do that. So I was going to type here maybe app. Okay, maybe I was going to type app forward slash page dot tsx. Okay, then I know that as soon as you type here npm start, it's going to run this file exactly as it is. So I'm trying to say when you go deeper, okay, there are some customization. Okay, so now what we have done, we have talked of Node as the chief guy, okay, as the guru behind all of these things. It runs JavaScript on a server. Okay, number two, React come as the foundation to say that I will build um on top of Node. Okay, Node is the chief guy, enables us to run JavaScript on a server, and then React has been built on top of Node because React is just JavaScript. Okay, and then Next.js comes to say that React is not efficient. I've got better file folders and structures, and also I can supply you with modules that will make your life easier in terms of routing. Okay, Next.js comes with built-in routing system. Okay, whereas in React you have to install a React router, or you have to somewhat, there's a manual labor attached to it. Okay, and then we have talk of npm and yarn and the differences, and when are you going to use yarn and when are you going to use npm. For instance, when you have downloaded a code from GitHub, how do you check if it uses yarn, or how do you check if it uses npm? What if maybe you don't really know? Just install any of those. Maybe if you install npm, it will run, but it will tell you there's some execution error. It looks like the original script was yarn. You will know that, oh, this is yarn. Then you will come back and then do yarn install, and then with yarn it will work. So you don't really have to some sort of it beforehand. Okay, it's not something to write a story about. Okay, and then now we've talked of the different commands. Okay, sometimes the person whom you got the code from GitHub, they might have changed things. Okay, like they might add a script here. I believe you can. Let's say I add a script here, kick. Let's say for some reason I want somebody to run kick, and then I want this to run the same next dev. Okay, this is valid and it can work. Okay, it can work. So maybe you can, if you are trying to run somebody else's code and it's not running, you can just come here on script and just check what do they have here, maybe. Okay, and then you will see, oh, they've got this kick, and this kick it's running next dev. Then you can type here npm run kick, and then it will work. Okay, so we've talked about that. And then before we continue, let's just check here what else. Other files, if I can be honest, they are not important for now. Okay. The only one that is important, it's this one, the public. Okay, when you want to put any assets that will be publicly available, just like this image, background image, this logo is publicly available, you've got those. You can just come here to public and put it here. I will show you these files where they are. Okay, like what can I say? When we are running this code, I will show you these files that they are available publicly. Obviously, as a good practice, okay, you can just have a folder here, assets, where you put all of these here. But this one, it's for the files. Okay, the other file that we might talk about, just to let you know what it is, maybe in the future you might need it, it's for what? For environment variables. Let's see if Next.js has it by default. I think it's this one. Next.env.d.ts. These are environment variables. Okay. What are environment variables? Let's say you've got an API, and the API that you have, it has got a secret key that no one must get access to. Okay. So obviously you can see if this key might be, where do I want to be? It looks like I'm lost in my own structure. Next. Next cos. This was supposed to be cos and it's xo what. As you can see, there's a spelling error. So that's why now I'm lost that this next xos or whatever, who did this? Okay, so cool. This is the right folder where we want to be. Let's say you've got that secret key. Okay, putting it here makes it available to the public. Okay, when you are creating your own, let's say, fetch request, you are making it available. People might see it. Okay, what if then you want to hide it? Okay, so what you can do, you can come and put it here on the environment variable. Usually when you put the environment variable, obviously I might get more details about that, but what you can do, you can just type here key. Okay, usually it's capital letters. You can just type here key without even the strings. Okay, sometimes with the strings, but without even the strings, you will put your key here and it will work, as you can see. Okay, just like this, and then you'll put your key here. So what happens is when you push this to GitHub, okay, this file won't be pushed, it won't be there. Okay, I think where is git ignore? Do we have that? Yes. Okay, I'm assuming, this file, okay, this folder, it must be under git ignore. It means that when you're committing to GitHub, it must be ignored because GitHub doesn't really need it. I'm assuming also this file, okay, this one, suppose it's inside here on the list of things to be ignored because it must not go with your secret keys to GitHub. Okay, you must configure that on a server. Okay, so meaning that once you publish your own file to Next Vercel or to Vercel, or it's online, you need to go to Vercel where you are publishing your app. You need to enter again the environment variables, which is these one, so that they could be available on production. As you can see now, the public doesn't really have access to them. Okay, the application uses them, but it doesn't have them in terms of in the code. Okay, when you get into the environment, production environment, you need to put them there as a developer so that when you run these scripts, they will get them also. So this file git ignore, suppose it will tell us which files and folders to ignore. Let's see. Dependencies, node modules, and whatever, testing, what, production, what, the debug. Okay, as you can see, this .env, okay, everything that in this all, I think it means anything that has got something to do with .env. As you can see, where is it now? Not really, this doesn't, it's not really .env. Okay, I think maybe on Next.js you create your own, but whatever the story is, okay, there is a file which forms part of this. Okay, maybe in new version of Next.js now this has changed. I'm not sure about that, but whenever you see a file with .env, okay, it means that you can put your environment variables and they will be safe, as you can see. So this part, this file is here because it must not make it to production. Okay, even this .vercel, it must not be there because when you are deploying it to Vercel, Vercel will create this file for you. Okay, also as you can see here, here is this file being ignored. Okay, I think this is Next.js way of doing things. Okay, as I've told you, Next.js have got its own opinions. Okay, you can have a .env with whatever dot what as you wish, but also they have made sure that they don't take this file, as you can see, because it might have the secret key that was here. Okay, let me just delete this. So enough about that. If you got more information about that, obviously you can ask me and we can talk about it. Now, I think in terms of the folder structure, I have shed some light. Okay, I have shed some light. I'm not going to get into Tailwind things since it's not really Next.js particularly. Okay, and also I don't want to some sort of confuse you. Okay, cool. So at least we have talked about more important things. Okay, now I think you can be able, when you are facing an error, you can kind of get a sense of what's going on. Okay, for instance, if somebody says on Test Stack Overflow, change your next version from next 5.24 14.2.4 to 14.2.5, what you can do, you can just come here and change this to 4.2.5 and then come back and do npm i. Okay, sorry, npm i. Okay, that means this stands for install. Even if you have typed here install, it will be the same thing. So the system will pretend as if this folder does not exist. It will go to package, it will look at these, it will install this version instead. Okay, so this helps with some sort of a little bit of debugging, or when there are some errors that you don't understand. This knowledge comes handy, okay, of manipulating here. People might tell you change your React DOM from 18 to 19. You don't have to do anything. You just do this and run npm i if you are running yarn, and run yarn install. Okay, cool. I think we have managed to at least talk about important files here. Okay, in terms of the folder structure. Now let's run this. Okay, npm run dev. Okay, npm run dev. Remember I told you Node makes it possible for us to run JavaScript on a server. That's why when you click npm run dev here, it opens a server. Okay, it serves these JavaScript files. As you can see, it's not like a normal HTML where you can create an HTML file and open it locally with this. You drag and drop that file, it will open. No, this system, the node, it serves the file, meaning that it acts as a server. As you can see, it's running JavaScript, but not here, okay, but as a server in a server. Okay, you will see when we get deep into Node.js, when we talk about server-side rendering and client-side rendering. Not necessarily when we get deep, maybe I might introduce it here. Okay, it will depends on the depth of the video, okay, or how heavy it is. Okay, so as you can see now, we have created a server. Here is the server. So meaning that when we click this local host, this is not a file that is, let's say, within our computer. It's like it's in a server, okay, in an external server, and that server will serve this. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that the React that we have created can run on what can I say, as a Next.js compiled, let's say, code. It can run on the browser, but at the same time it can run where on the server. Okay, let's check not necessarily the pros and cons, but let's compare and contrast the server and the browser. In the browser, okay, in the browser, let's see, I'm looking for something that you can click. In the browser, you can click something and it will take you to somewhere else. Okay, cool. Go back. A server, it's more like a computer on its own. Okay, it's executing things on its own. Okay, does it have a user interface? No, it doesn't have. Think of a mainframe computer here that doesn't have a that doesn't computer. I'm not sure if mainframe is the right analogy, but think of this computer. Okay, it doesn't have an interface where you can say, okay, when it's running here, I'm going to click, and when I click, I'm going to drag and drop. No, this guy is running on its own. That means everything here, it's automatic, no human interactions. Okay, no human interactions here. So let's say these are the servers. So when something is running on the server, when JavaScript, let me not say something, when JavaScript is running on a server, okay, because of Node.js made that possible, all the human interactions, they are not there. Okay, you can click because you really don't. You can click, you can do what you are just running a plain JavaScript. What if maybe I want to create a something like this on the server and just send it or just present it to the browser? It will mean that everything will work well. Okay, make sure that you don't have the click events. JavaScript React will attach those click events when your code reaches this site. Okay, also I think I am going to do a separate video as time goes by to teach you about the React philosophy and how it manipulates the DOM. Okay, the diffing process, the hydration process. I will tell you all of this, but React is doing a lot of if something is crooked in our language, we call it mshika shika. Okay, so if I bought a car or I stole it, that means I got it, let's say, via mshika shika. So React is doing a lot of crooked things behind the scene, not in a negative way, but it's not as plain as, let's say, something comes from the server and I display it. No, 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 no. React needs to hijack that, and it needs to loop through it and look for click events, and it needs to attach those click events because from the server they were not there. Okay, so it does a lot of things before you display it. That one I am going to maybe make a separate video when we get there on React philosophy. So I was comparing and contrasting the server and the browser. Okay, so the browser has got the click events, it has got the hover effect. When your code, your React code or your Next.js code is in the server, you just make sure that it doesn't have the click events. Okay, just write a pure HTML. Remember, an HTML is just a string. Okay, pure HTML, and that's it. You don't put the click events. If you want that code to be run or to be rendered on a web browser, which is on the client, that's what we call it, you can tell Next.js that it's going to be client. Okay, the possibility of server and client came with some sort of complexity, okay, which I would like to believe, and I might be wrong. React has not been well structured when it comes to that. They are not the master. They didn't come with a beautiful architecture to handle that. Let me quickly show you. This runs on a client, this, okay, because it has got the click events. Okay, let me just double check that it has got a hover and it goes. Let me just double check on the code. Okay, but this to me looks like okay, this is, let me just show you. Okay, this is some sort of a hover effect, right? As you can see, when we click here, this moves. It's more like a human interaction. But what made it possible? It's CSS. So meaning that it's possible to have some human interactions which were made possible by CSS on the server, because the server really doesn't do anything. It doesn't run any JavaScript. Okay. This one, I would like to assume it's CSS. Even when I click here, let's check what will happen, because I want to determine beforehand if is this a server page or is this a client page. Let's click here. As you can see, this takes us to a new page. Okay, an anchor tag in HTML, anchor tag, okay, an anchor tag in HTML is able to open a new browser when you click on it. For instance, here's an anchor tag. When you click on here, it opens a new browser. This code can exist on a server because the server doesn't have like intrinsic browser API. Okay, we don't need the DOM here. Okay, but let me show you the cases where we might need the DOM. On click event. Okay, now in your code, once you have an on click event, okay, you want to execute a certain function. This one, this is the browser API, or it's a browser functionality. Okay, so for now, let me go back and make my conclusion. Okay, based on what I see here, this might be a server side code. This can run on a server and it will be rendered on the client without no issues, because I don't really see a potential for like browser intrinsic functionality, which is JavaScript. So let's go back here and check that page. Okay, here is that page. Now where we are, in case you got lost, I am just telling you the server side and the client side, which is very important. It's a certain philosophy which is which forms part of modern JavaScript application. Let me just tell you why it forms an important part. Okay, there are loops that you are going to do, which depends on API calls, which are costly to run on the browser. They are costly. Okay, let's say you are fetching a million posts. If you are going to do that on the browser, it's costly. But if you can do that on a server and ship that bundle as HTML, the browser will just display those as like this. It will display them. It won't fetch them. Okay, the JavaScript of the JavaScript engine of the browser, it's not going to fetch those files. Remember, when we are dealing with when we're dealing with the server, we are talking about mainframe. So these guys are very fast. Even if here on the server you can search for loop through million records, it will happen faster on the server because it doesn't happen on the client's computer. It's happen on Microsoft, let's say, servers, which are very fast. So you can loop and search for and loop you can loop through billion records and just send them for the browser to just display. That would be efficient. That's why when we have to brush this skill a little bit, and you have to understand the server side and the client side. Okay, obviously I'm going to do detailed videos on those things only, but I'm just giving you an am I still recording? Okay, I'm just giving you the details as to why it's important, why it matters. Okay, obviously I have lost track of where I was, but I hope I'm going to quickly get back to on track. Maybe I need to have notes. Okay, I need to save structured notes. So what I was saying is this page, the one that we are in, I'm assuming it's not a client page, it's a server side page. Okay, and that happens that it's a server side page. How do I know that? As you can see on top of here, there is no specification. On Next.js, if you don't specify anything, it means that this runs on a server. Okay, let's prove that. What if when we run this home page, we can have console log? Okay, we can have console.log. Okay, let me type here, I am not running on, my apologies about my spelling, running on a browser. Okay, the reason why this console log you are not going to see it, it's simply because the JS of this code, the JavaScript aspects, okay, doesn't execute on the browser, it executes on the server. So as you can see, where are we running the server? Okay, we are running the server here on Visual Studio Code. Even if we can refresh here, we can go and inspect and look at the console. Okay, we don't see anything that says I am running on a server. As you can see, it's not here because it was supposed to be here, but it's not, because the code is not running on a server. It's being presented on the client. It's presented, meaning that here it's presented this way. This is just a text. Okay, it's presented so that the DOM can just apply the CSS, but it doesn't render anything. Then if you look at here, suppose here is the code I am running on a browser. That's why you see this here, because on Next.js, if you don't specify the client and the server side, this will run on the server if you don't specify. Okay, what if maybe I might want to do something that happens to be needed by the browser and I don't specify? Let's test that. Okay, let's test that. Let's alert Okay, I think alert, it's a function that is possible in the browser. Okay, because when you're alerting, something will pop up here. Okay, that means that's a browser functionality. Let's see what will happen. Okay, let me just type alerting now. Okay, click save, and then as you can see, now we are having a problem. Okay, alert is not defined. Why? Simply because our JavaScript runs on a server. Okay, this is where it is. It's telling you that I am here on the mainframe. Okay, this is where I am. Okay, this is where I am. The human interactions we don't have. Okay, these guys are just outside looking in. They can't get in and run the alert end. I'm not dealing with humans here on the server, so I don't have alert. Okay, so how can we fix this? Where is that code? Okay, so how can we fix this? It's simple. These are the very important things and fundamentals about Next.js. Okay, if you manage to get this concept very well, you are some sort of on the right track with Next.js. Otherwise, when you are a new when you are a beginner and you are facing these errors, they are frustrating because you really don't understand why. Okay, it takes time for you to really understand the concept. Okay, so now with Next.js, you need to tell it that here you need to use the client. Okay, you just use this, use client, and that is it, and then you click save. Okay, and then that means you are telling it that it runs on the client. As you can see now, it's alerting. Okay, what about our console log now? Let's see where it's console logging. Let me refresh. Or did I comment it? Okay, yeah, here is it. I am running on a browser. Okay, um this is a very important concept. Next.js, I think it's called ssr Next.js ssr, server-side rendering. Okay, let me just type Next.js ssr. This is a very important concept, server-side rendering, as you can see, and I think CSR stands for client-side rendering. Okay, Next.js CSR. Okay, let's see. Client-side rendering, as you can see, it's an important concept for a beginner to grasp. Okay, it will eliminate a lot of errors. As you can see, when I clicked the check here, I am using use page router. Okay, this is the right information, but maybe not in the old page router that they are using. So let's click this one. As you can see, this is some sort of the current version of the same information, but maybe for the page app router instead. Okay, they are explaining it here. So I'm done with that. Let's see. Where were we? Now I've lost track, but I will find myself. So I have shown you how to run the code on a server and why. When it's like this, it runs on a server. It's efficient. It's very quick. When it gets to the browser, the DOM just displays it. Okay, there is no computation. If you want to make heavy load, what can I say? For instance, let's say you've got a did I fix this? Let's say you've got okay, let's see. Alert is not defined. Okay, cool. Since we are going to be on the client anyway, let's say you've got a drop down menu, a drop down list here that get via from the API millions, okay, of let's say departments, okay, worldwide departments, government departments. Okay, that's a lot of task. Okay, that means this page needs to run on a server. Okay, what is interesting about Next.js, we will take this further. Okay, you can choose to make this component a server-side component, and you will bring it into a client-side page. Okay, this will be rendered in a server. When this comes in, this will come as a client with all of its placeholders. The clicking events and whatever, they will be placeholders because they will be substituted when this page arrives on the browser. And when it comes to this component, it will be executed independently on the browser, and it will come here as a bunch of HTML, millions of them, so that they could be quickly be presented. As you can see, you are going to be efficient simply because all the things that needs to be executed in the client, they will be executed in the client when this code comes to the client. But this one, the only one, this drop down tab, it will come as an HTML already. So I hope you do get the need for understanding Next.js, SSR, and CSR. Also, again, Next.js. Now I'm starting to use my native fillers. Okay, the word care. Okay, but don't mind about that. It's a story for another day. Also, there's also a static generation. Okay, Next.js has a lot of cool features. Okay, there's a lot of cool features. So at least now let's just stick to the server side rendering and the client side rendering. You can go and make research more about it to get the context. Okay, but the way that I've explained to you here, believe me, it's the best way I know how. I wish somebody could have explained this thing to me like this. Okay, and make the examples and showed me a code that runs on a server and the one that runs on a client. Now we are on a client. Okay, we have converted this page to a client. It's able to alert this and it's able to do that. Okay, what else that I have not mentioned? This video is becoming longer. At least let me push it to, looks like it's almost an hour already. Okay, because I don't want it to be too long. Okay, I can feel for my students when they are watching me being super talkative, enjoying to be lost in my own kind of thought process. To be honest, guys, I really enjoy what I'm doing. Okay, I just decided that the way I've explained Next.js here, it's very important that I distribute to my students like equally. So basically, that's what I do. Sometimes I start something explaining to a certain student because they are already ahead. Okay, they did some few tasks, but somewhere in between, I will feel like I think the other student also needs this. Okay, even though he or she is a bit behind, but there is a lot of value here that I unpacked for this student. So please understand that. Okay, just check, consume the content. Okay, if I'm saying my brother, if I'm saying my sister, maybe sometimes I might mention names. Okay, so please guys, forgive me with that. Okay, there is no sensitive information around it, but it's such that when I see something, I've explained it very well for this person, I always share it to the other students. Okay, so guys, I feel like obviously this video is too long. I have explained a lot of deep concept which obviously might consume your brain. I will continue with this, okay, and with the intention of the particular student where why I started this. Okay, we are going somewhere with him. Okay, so obviously I will start that in a next video. Okay, so I think these are the basics of Next.js. If you've got any other question, you can let me know. Thank you so much for listening to me. Let's chat on WhatsApp.